look, it's very rare that brothers grow up with their kids in America. And when you say that, it shouldn't be shocking.
Well,
most kids grow up visiting their dad.
Well,
but that's why I know I could never do that. It is common. I'm not arguing that.
Of course,
your
kids grew up with you?
My kids are in my house every day. I'm taking them to practice.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Hey everybody, joint custody in Kentucky now means equal time with the children. At least that's where the discussions start.
A new law says joint custody is now the default when parents split up. Local 12's Angela Ingram talked with family lawyers about what that means for parents and children of divorce. Angela.
What if when you filed for divorce, you knew that your spouse would get 50-50 custody? Would that affect your decision?
In Kentucky, the starting point for a judge is that both parents will have joint custody and also 50-50 parenting time. Governor Matt Bevin just signed it into law.
Kentucky has a law where 50-50 is the default. Now, obviously, there are exceptions if there's, domestic violence or whatever. But the default is 50-50. So not like Detroit where the default is every other weekend. If you knew your ex was going to get the kids 50% of the time right off, would that affect your decision to file for divorce?
This is the first law of its kind in the country. And what I will say is that in this area, in the Northern Kentucky area, for us attorneys that practice in especially Boone, Campbell, and Kenton counties, this is what's been going on for years with most of the judges.
Supporters of the new law say it allows for more stable upbringing of children. Attorneys who specialize in family law point out that judges have a lot of leeway and that although both parents will start on an even playing field, there are factors that can change a judge's ruling.
Well, certainly if
I think the law is a good thing. Like you said, 50-50. If they want equality, they get equality. I won't buy the sympathy thing of like, we stand in abusive relationships because one of hitting you, they hitting you, and you call the police. Like that's grounds for him being an unfit parent. So the idea that you can stay in an abusive relationship, that's just stupid. It don't make sense.
Certainly, if there's any domestic violence involved, that would play a big role, and more than likely, each parent's prior participation in the child's life.
Did you know that equal shared parenting laws decrease divorce rates? Well, it's true, and Kentucky proved it. In 2018, Kentucky passed a 50-50 equal shared parenting law, and since then, divorce rates have slowly declined.
If you didn't grow up with a mother and a father who love you together,
right,
you don't know. You find out the hard way, and you become jaded in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, she got rights over my child, and I can't do nothing but shut the up. I just had my daughter.
In Kentucky, I went there to figure out why. In 2018, Kentucky became the first state to make 50-50 shared custody the default. That means that children split their time equally between both parents, and fathers pay less in child support the more time that they spend with their children. Before that, judges decided custody based on what they called the best interest of the child. Fathers said that usually relegated them to an every other weekend arrangement, the so-called Disneyland dad effect, while mothers got to spend most of the time with their children. Since the law passed, divorce rates have dropped. Between 2016 and 2023, divorces in the state fell 25%, compared to 18% nationwide.
I'm not sure I even addressed this when it first came out, but we now have data that shows that this particular bill has played a significant role in the plummeted divorce rate. According to the Wall Street Journal, the article is dated September the 6th, 2025. Again, Wall Street Journal, they have now compiled the data.
It was a victory for fathers' rights, but the story is more complicated. Some critics of the law say that people are staying in abusive marriages because they're afraid of leaving their children alone with a parent with a history of violence. One mom told me that her husband nearly killed her in 2023. She filed criminal charges and he was arrested. But less than 2 weeks after he got out of jail, a judge awarded him 50% custody of their son, indicating that the abuse wasn't a factor since he didn't lay hands on the child. the law has become a model for other states. Arkansas, West Virginia, Florida, and Missouri have passed their own versions of the equal custody presumption. Around 20 other states are considering it.
But you know what? I totally get what Corey was
saying. Play the violin and come up here.
I was in the barber shop talking to some homies, and the first thing they said was, "Man, you had both of your parents growing up," and that, like, we laugh, right? But a lot of dudes didn't grow up with both parents in the home, so
that's
then
rare.
Yeah,
that's rare. I'm from Chicago, man. It's a whole bunch of single moms who got opinions and they lonely.
Much needed reality, shall we say, across the board in America. Now, I myself, I've never been married. I don't have any biological children that I claim. I've raised kids with very, beautiful, nice women, but I can't say I know the real depths of what it is to be divorced and to have, pardon me for laughing, to have more than half of your assets, your I don't know, things that you have worked hard for, to have them taken from you from these human semen receptacles. I'm sorry, I've said that before.
So you polite savages, I want you to notice the cope that the modern woman's going to pull straight out of the modern woman playbook. What's she going to say? She's going to say those ladies are staying there to avoid leaving their children with someone abusive. Come on now. We know what the real deal is. They don't want to leave that money, that scratch, that paper, that Skrilla. You see, it's very easy for a lady to walk away in modern times and just abscond with everything the man owns, and that's what they plan on doing. They say, hey, you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to leave and take everything with me. 9 times out of 10, they're going to get the legal fees. And since this is being put to an end, we all know how the story goes. Oh, it's better to stay around because I'm not being incentivized to destroy my family. I'm not being incentivized to be a home wrecker. I'm not wrecking my own home because there's no money in it. I don't care what you say. You can spin it any way you want. Results are the results and the proof is in the pudding. And y'all just need to sit down, take several seats, and understand the jig is almost up. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You dig?
Now, I know what some of these crazy toxic women are out here going to say. Well, that's because women are locked in their marriages. No, that's because instead of walking away and thinking that they can weaponize the family courts to take the kids and get a ton of money, women realize that that's no longer possible in the state of Kentucky. So they're staying. They're working on their marriage. They're going to marriage counseling. And they're making it work in the best interest of their families. But the divorce system where there's no fault and where there's no 50-50, it's easy for a woman to walk away because she knows she's going to get the lion's share of the assets. She's probably going to get majority custody and she's probably going to get child support. So what's keeping her there? If it's not the perfect situation and it's not Prince Charming like in the movies, she doesn't want to stay. Toxic women will choose their happiness over their family.
Anyway, I'm just saying, man. Us young brothers, you young brothers out there, man. Your child is the priority. I'm telling you, your child is the priority. Try to do what you can to be a positive influence in their lives. You ain't got to drop snitch on nobody. I never talked about my daughter's mother to her until she hit that age where when she said, I don't have a coat, I be wearing 3 sweaters going to school. I showed her how much money she get in her name every month, and it doesn't make sense for you not to have a coat.
Polite savages.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Ladies and gentlemen of polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and fans of the family court industrial complex alike. As always, we can only guarantee to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And sometimes the truth means that you gotta go 50-50 and lose all of that child support that you were banking on. So you better shut up and take your medicine, because there's nothing left to do but get on up into it. Are you ready? Well, let's go.
There are reports coming out of Kentucky that the divorce rate has completely plummeted. 25%. It's gone down 25%. Like, that's significant. You know, when the divorce rate nationally rests, I don't know, I think a little bit above 50%. To have it drop 25% in one state means to pay attention. It's a reason to pay attention.
Man, oh man, I never thought I would see a day come when the worm has started to turn. That's right. The great state of Kentucky, a place where many people want to visit nowadays, has decided to start all child custody positions at 50-50. So what does that mean? That means do you spend half of the time with the father, half of the time with the mother? Because it seems apparently that somebody started paying attention to the data, and the data says that when a father is involved with a child's life, when a child can spend most of their time or half of their time with their father, they have better chances, yes, better chances of being successful and, you've guessed it, their life. But of course, the modern women are going to come with the blabble blabble and say that all of these ladies are putting themselves in danger by staying with these men. Because what happened when this law came into effect a few years ago, the divorce rates have plummeted a whole 25%. Let that sink in. Why is it plummeting? Is it because the ladies are trying to protect their children from an abusive man? Well, let's just turn that logic around, because I remember when ladies used to tell a man that no matter what in this world, they would do anything to make sure their kid was safe. So if the ladies feel like that, if the ladies feel like they would do anything to make sure their kids were safe, then they would be absconding with their child, and we know that's not happening. More likely what they're doing is they're staying because they found out that that money well, that money tree, that wishing well is not there anymore, and they can't just leave with a whole bag of cash. And yes, you've guessed, the Sisterhood is not happy about it, but guess what?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
That's right, it is what it is.
The reason 50-50 is a dumb idea is because I can't split labor pains with you. I gotta let the doctor cut me open, split me open. I gotta go through all that traumatic experience by myself.
So ma'am, you're over here acting like you had no idea what was gonna happen when you got pregnant. You had no idea how babies came to this world. Like you absolutely had no idea that you were going to actually go into labor and why it's called labor. Now you come here with this, it wasn't 50-50. Well, ma'am, it's impossible for somebody to go 50-50 on something that happens to you. However, it's impossible to expect that when you make something with somebody that you should get 100% of it. It's absolutely stupid. It doesn't make sense. And this is why a lot of brothers, yes, I say it, a lot of brothers don't want to have babies, don't want to be married, don't want to be paired with ladies with the likes of you, because you claim 100% authority over your babies regardless of the situation. But you damn well straight want 100% of that child support when it comes your way, harlot.
But the black woman claims 100% control and domination over this child. And a child is a man's legacy. A child is a man's legacy. So all the black women I heard, they never said this is our child, it's my child. And if their mama says something, they go tell mama, this is my child, I raised my kids, my kid. And if the something say, no, I carried this for 9 months. I carried him in my nuts before he got to you. So that's a man's legacy. So the black man is robbed of his legacy through the baby mama. So you're gonna deprive your child. You're gonna deprive your child of access to his father, as well as strip the black man of his rights as a father to be in his child's life. For what? What's she doing all this for? Cause she hurt? Cause she feel like she been misused and abused? It's a bunch of children, homie, that's being raised in those same conditions.
You see, the modern woman suffers from selective liberation, selective equality. Basically, they want it when they want it, but don't want it when they don't want it. And it's an absolute shame. And guess what? Everybody's seeing there's a crack in the ceiling. Everybody understands what's going on, ma'am. Nobody cares what you're saying, ma'am. When you're all upset proclaiming that you know your worth, ma'am, what we understand, ma'am, is that your worth is your worth. So let's just go 50-50, because obviously you're just as good as me, ma'am. Well, if you're just as good as me, ma'am, why do I have to pay for your lifestyle, ma'am? Because one thing is for certain, I don't know one man who doesn't mind paying for his child, but damn sure would hate to pay for your lifestyle.
And here's what's interesting about modern day feminism. They want equality everywhere, but in the court. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
Right. They don't want equality in the court system. So I think that's funny that they want all this equality, but they still want alimony. They still want child support. They still want half of a man's assets. But if it's equal, what we bring in is what we take out. We split the children 50-50.
I can't tell that man, you know what? You lay on this table and you let the doctor cut you open, or you push Open both of your legs and I want you to push. Don't stop pushing. You know what that man gonna tell me? You were created to give life. God created your vessel to nurture. So if God created me to give life, what did he create you to do?
I love the way that the modern woman loves to bring up, loves to invoke God, loves to question you about God without actually having knowledge of what's actually going on. Well, ma'am, let's just put it this way. If you are a vessel of life, then the man is the actual seed to help sprout the life. That means that you made this baby together. Why are you sitting here acting like you did it all by yourself? Because you want to be independent and you want credit for doing things that you should actually do. It's just like when a modern woman tells you she's a boss chick because she pays her own bills. Oh my goodness, ma'am. Wow, you pay your own bills. You mean you're doing something that every adult in the world has to do? But no. You're trying to figure out a way. You're trying to come with some technology. You're trying to get a glitch in the matrix. What you're really trying to do is get some resources for yourself, because we know damn well you ain't trying to get it for the kids. And that's what most men have a problem with. You dig?
And for the child support, again, I'm already providing for my son's 50%. I have to provide for his babysitter. I have to provide for his diapers, for his everything too. So I have to provide for mine and for hers as well. I just don't see that being fair, since I'm already doing my 50% as a dad. Like it's for the benefit of the child, not for her lifestyle.
But you modern ladies can do all of the blabbling that you want, but the proof is actually in the fudge. The proof is in the pudding, right there in straight statistics. Why did it drop 25%? What, you think everybody there is just abusing every woman? Shut up, lady. It doesn't make sense. Let me tell you why the divorce rate dropped 25%. It's very simple. You found out that the money train has left, and now you got to reconfigure, rethink, and re-get along. The exit plan is not there anymore. And I, for one, I'm really happy that the world is starting to do one thing.
Wake up! A mother's love is not sufficient enough for a boy. People think mother's love is not sufficient. He have to have some type of male love, and it has to be consistent. To even balance out the consistency of a mother's love. Without that balance, mothers ruin boys. You love on them too long, you ruin them.
You said all this about my pops, but I'm watching how you move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you never, that's another thing, on the other parent. I'm talking to men and women. Women don't the men don't mother. The mother gonna show who she is. The father gonna show who he is. Now, I ain't gonna lie, with the father, it's different because he's not there most of the time. Most of us are in a situation where we have a baby by somebody we're not married to and live with.
Right.
So we have to understand, if you're not there, who you are is being assassinated in a lot of situations.
But outside of that, I think until women actually hold each other accountable, then I don't care.
Thank you for watching the TIP Network. Follow us on all social media outlets and ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom, we're out.
We found true happiness